Biology with Abby, Microbes Edition. Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about microbes, but we're going to get a little more specific and talk about archaea, bacteria, protista, fungi, and algae. But let's start off with the first one and let's talk about archaea. Now, archaea is a prokaryote, which means that it is a membrane-bound organelle and does not contain a nuclei. Now, while archaea and bacteria, something we'll be discussing later, are not closely related, archaea and something called eukarya are very similar. Now, archaea does not contain a nucleus, organelles, but sometimes it does contain introns, it does contain histones, and several types contain RNA polymers. Methylene is at the start of protein synthesis when it comes to archaea. Now, as you can tell from up here, there are several types of archaea. There are haplophiles, thermophiles, and methylogens. So let's get a little bit more into those. Halophils live in saltier habitats and have been isolated from environments such as the Great Salt Lake, the Dead Sea, and more hypersaline soils. Now, their plasma membranes contain chlorine pumps that contain a more light-powered protein. Now, halophils pump chlorine and water into cells to help prevent dehydration. And some halophils carry out photosynthesis using instead of chlorophyll. Now, thermoacidophiles live in extremely hot, acidic, and aquatic environments such as hot springs, geysers, and even underwater volcanoes. Now, the lipid membranes and proteins of these archaea are involved to function at temperatures as high as 80 degrees Celsius. Now, about 12% of these genes encode transport proteins on its plasma membrane, and some of these are assumed to be involved in pumping excess out of the cell. Now, methylogens are chemoautotrophs that use carbon dioxide and hydrogen as energy resources and produce methane as their byproduct. Now, these methylogens are more in anaerobic environments such as swamps, rice paddies, lake sediments, and even the intestines of animals. Now, methane is a greenhouse gas which may contribute to global warming, and scientists are trying to suggest that even a change in diet or perhaps making a vaccine to inhibit the growth of these archaea in cows. So now that you've learned more about archaea, let's move on to our next one, bacteria.